Hello everybody, my name is Vlad Meffley, and I'm the lead developer for Team Blackheart Studios. Today I'm going to showcase our infinite terrain tiler that we've been working on for our game Trail to the West. So to get started, we'll have create a terrain in our scene. If you don't know how to do that, you should go ahead and check out the Unity forums or the manual. So once you have a terrain in, go ahead and go to Team Blackheart and export terrain, and it'll open this pop-out window. And we will go ahead and kind of dock it over here. So the next thing to do is to go ahead and click front if you want to add it to the front, obviously. So we'll keep adding a few tiles in here. And you can, obviously fill in these points if you want to, but I wanted to showcase a little bit of what's going on here. So we'll go ahead and actually draw onto the scene, or onto these terrains a little bit. Give them a little bit of a difference between each other, since we don't want them to all be the same. Because then how would you be able to tell that we're actually streaming things or importing things into the game? So I'll just play around here for just a second. Just do a little bit of this and that. So we'll also go ahead and draw some different texture stuff on there to show that works as well. So maybe just draw. There we go. So the next thing to do once you've got your terrains situated how you like them, you can go ahead and set the folder that you want to use. So in this case I'm actually going to use a different folder. So I'm going to go ahead and copy that in real quick. And go ahead and click export data. And what this does is it actually pumps out these folders here that contain all of your data for each terrain. So you have basically a top level JSON file that tells the system how to load all this stuff back in. And you have that for each one of them, and you also have for the center terrain, which in this case happens to be the terrain that you started with. So once you've got everything you like, just to show that you can actually come back here and edit the stuff that you did, we'll go ahead and clear the terrain list, which will actually go ahead and clear the terrains out of the scene as well for you. And if you want to just import them to edit again, just say import data, and we have our terrains back in, pulled from the binary data that was saved out for you. So now I want to show you the in-game component, so I'm actually going to clear these back out again and start the game up. So I'm actually using UFPS for their amazing first-person controller here. So you'll see how nice it is. Really, really cool. Just to show you then the tiles that loaded in. Here is actually the center tile. And if you remember, that's that tile that we created up above us, right there, where we put something on. So what I'll do is, to show you that things are streamed in, I'll actually move this guy from up here. It's a little easier, because basically when he moves, it decides when to load things in. So if you see, remember the F and the kind of little smudge stain there, and as I move him up, it'll actually pull in those other ones that were above there. So you see, though, now we have all the terrains that we had actually created and exported with our system. So if I were to go in the game, let me actually turn up his speed so he can run a little faster, because you don't want to sit around just watching me play this game. Probably rather boring. So I'll go ahead and do that. I'll run toward maybe something like this. Actually, let me turn up his clipping distance as well. Alright, so as I move around, you see that these are the terrains that I added in. So you can actually see this stuff kind of working here, and basically you won't really notice when I leave the actual terrains or when terrains are streamed in, which is really awesome and really nice. So I can keep walking forever essentially and never really see the end of the terrain, which is perfect for I think any game that really you want to allow this open world that that you don't want to have to keep everything in memory at this all the time. So, or have to change scenes or anything like that. So we had actually, there you go, we actually pulled in more data, and I can actually show it on the scene view here, what it looks like. So as I come, and I'll kind of forcibly move my player here, and you can see it kind of stream in and out the different pieces. Actually had a problem there, which is okay. That's actually has to do with UFPS. So we'll go from there. And that's pretty much it for this first part of the series here. showing off this, you know, how to build these terrains out and stuff. So I'll go ahead and stop it there, and oh man, UFS, killing me. So we'll go ahead and move that in here, and look back at our scene. And what we'll do is I'll actually go ahead and re-import, and I want to show you the fact that we can actually stream in game objects that you've attached to the terrains as well. So to do that, I'm going to go ahead and add my base terrain back and import all the data again. And there we go again, perfect, no problems there. Go ahead and leave him down. And to show you that I can stream in game objects at runtime, I'm going to go ahead, and the way to do this is to actually add them to your terrain as the parent. So the parent will have the objects that you want. So in this case, I am going to add a tree here to this one, maybe a couple trees to kind of iterate the point. And I'll move them about really quick. I'll just, right there is probably okay. So the next step to do is to go ahead and export this data out again. And alright, so now we've got that exported out. So to show you that it works, even in your editor time, it will work and load back in your game objects onto the terrains. So I'll clear the terrain list and import the data again. And as we see down here, terrain 1, there are our trees that we added in. So we'll clear it out, and I'll show you it working in the actual runtime. Alright, so I think that it was ahead of me, I believe. I probably should have changed this outside of the game running, but that's okay. And actually, let's do that. Turn up the clipping distance again. Maybe we can actually see. So I'll show you here in the scene actually, so you can actually see that the trees are there. The terrain here in this case. So there it is, the trees. And our player happens to be over here. So I'll kind of try to walk toward those to show you. So you can kind of see them in the distance now. So what the system is actually doing is when you export everything out, basically it is taking all the game objects that are attached to that terrain and finding the prefab names for them from the asset database that you have, and storing those prefab names along with the terrain data. So basically when we import or start the game, it knows exactly which prefabs to use. And I'm actually using a pool manager from Pathological Games, which is a really nice pool manager that they offer. Basically allows you to specify the prefab name when you want to spawn something, and basically manages all of the spawning in and out for me. But you are more than free to use anything that you want, and with this project I'll actually be including a really simple kind of pool manager that you can use for your games. But yes, so you see there are the trees right here that are streamed in with the game terrains. So to see that they actually go away, we'll pop up the scene view here, and we'll move this guy about a bit, quite a far distance, so that maybe those will actually stream back out. So keep moving them, and oh, we had I think that's because of the bullet prefabs. So we'll move that around, and as we keep moving there, totally has to do with UFS. They're killing me. Okay, so as you see that the player is essentially now out in the open, and the tiled terrain there is actually that center terrain. So it'll use the that center terrain that you have as basically filling points if you don't specify any filler terrains to use. Alright, so we'll stop the game, and yeah, we're still having some problems with that. That's UFS. Actually specifying that bullet onto the terrain, placing the bullet onto the terrain, which we don't really want, but alright. So I think that's about it for this video, guys, and thanks for actually watching and checking out our work. Let us know if you have any feedback or anything like that. and please check out the next video where I'll demonstrate the terrain stitching functionality that's built into this tool already. So until next time, see you later.